All right, it's been a while. I don't have much time, so I'm going to try to make this quick and simple. What's more important, employability or education? Traditionally, going to college is supposed to open more doors for the graduates. That's what's been promised. But the reality is that most college degrees don't really tell your future employers how smart you are. It only shows that you're able to push through unnecessary shenanigans. I mean, in our College of Magic, we want you to learn more about how advanced magic spells work. But non-magic colleges, they don't have much to teach as the real world has to offer. Yes, that's right. Rednecks do have valuable qualities that can teach you very useful lessons. If you fail college, it doesn't mean you're a failure, it's showing you more about yourself. For example, you may want to become an expert engineer. You work so hard and do everything you can to score a good grade. But the math, the algebra, the physics, the calculus, and the geometry, it's a little too much for you to handle, but you don't quit. You should get a good grade, right? But the results are in. You scored a 50% and failed the class.
Plan B. You seek a job, you find one, and you do well in it. But then one day, you make a mistake, and then you get fired for it. Now what's Plan C going to be? Worry not, my students. This speech is exactly what it's about.
First, let's talk about employment. It's a job you applied for and earn a stable income while you preform your tasks. You make between $10,000 to $20,000 a year on minimum wage, $20,000 to $40,000 a year on average or trade school. You don't really stay in one place for the rest of your life. You start from the bottom and work your way up, maybe to the top. It's simple and easy to adjust to if you're willing to take in the experience. But what if you want to be a doctor, lawyer, or a higher paying job? Why would anyone go to college? The second conversation is about college. It's like school, but it has unwritten rules and regulations, and it makes it harder if you don't have reliable transportation, especially when you're taking the bus or too traumatized from your car accident and scared to drive because you have post-traumatic stress disorder. Not only that, there's also classes that give complex assessments. For example, you're assigned to complete a group project. All the good classmates are taken up, and you're left with the class clowns and classmates who don't really take their own work seriously, or classmates who don't really have time to work on the group project. Then the group project takes all day to get far, and then when you're ready to finish your project after an hour-long break, you're told that they're already done. And yes, people do find that frustrating. Why would you want to stay in college, you ask? Well, like I said earlier, do you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or get a high-paying job? That's your reason to put up with all the shenanigans you're thrown at. Then after all of the struggles and trials and tribulation, you finally get the opportunity to prove yourself worthy, and you can gain a stable $50,000 to $60,000 or $70,000 a year. I don't get why a lot of women expect a good man to be over 6 feet tall and make $100,000 a year. Boogie bully's over 6 feet tall. Where's his girlfriend? Third discussion. Let's talk about part-time jobs and classes. You work 3 or 4 days a week and you attend classes 1 or 2 days a week, making a total of between 4 busy days with 3 days off, and 6 busy days and 1 day off. And not to mention, the number of classes you attend makes it harder with the amount of time spent at work. The key time management is understanding yourself and balancing your schedule. Not much needed to explain about the last one. Now, how do you know which way is best for you? Do you stay in your employment for life? Do you push yourself forward, education? Or can you balance your schedule with work and class? Actually, the real question lies within yourself. Who are you? What are you good at? What do you enjoy? And what do you want to do?
Nicely said, Maalardra. I think you did pretty good. Do tell us how my sister did in the comments below, and do tell us what you learned from her wisdom.
One more thing before we end it here. Seriously, revenge is not the answer. It never was, and it never will, because there are consequences to your actions.
Yes, that is 100% true. Why? Who keeps demanding justice?
Wow, what a beautiful day. Green grass, cool breeze, and a beautiful view of my home city, Les Vertueux. It would be a shame if it were to be vandalized, burned, or worse, suddenly blow away. After all, Les Vertueux is the city that is a safe haven for Catholics and Protestants to come together and live and raise their children away from the woke leftists, grooming pedophiles, Satanists, furries, and Islamists.
Have we learned nothing from last time? Like, seriously, have we not learned from what happened to Macy's anti-abortion orphanage? Pardon me, we're on air. If you haven't heard by now, Les Vertueux has been completely obliterated. At first, we didn't know what cratered the entire city, but then we found this piece of junk aircraft, and a big fat giveaway to finding out who is responsible for this monstrosity. And wouldn't you know it? It's the same men who desolated Macy's Christian anti-abortion orphanage. What? You still think they're innocent? Let me inform you that we've managed to call the Red Warden, Hong Jin Long, and she provided us with drone surveillance photographs and a video recording once it's ready to play. In this, we found that same junk vessels in better shape than it is now. And in other photo, we can see the same 7 men who are responsible for the incident. New guilty faces aside, let me remind you about what they did to Macy's orphanage. Starting from the dormitory potty after the government requested pipelines for methane gas supply, but didn't realise the mass defecation of these 7 stooges. And all that methane gas build-up beneath the orphanage was enough to create a massive explosion, leaving behind a huge burnt crater in the desert. Now let me remind you about the 3,521,364 death toll on Macy's orphanage, and then compare it to the 27,158,240 death toll on Les Vertueux. A huge bloody difference between just now and last time. Mei Li, would you be so kind to translate my advice to Hong Jin Long? I don't know who she hired to secure the prison, but if I were her, I'd find more stronger officials to ensure security, and then fire the weaker prison guards to fail to prevent disaster and escape. Maybe buy some upgrades from Wayne Tech or LexCorp. Why not Volt Tech? Mix them up and whatnot. In honor of Dorothy Sapphire, the mayor and founder of Les Vertueux, her family demanded that the men who are responsible for the destruction of Les Vertueux to be punished for her demise. But the Supreme Court ruled to charge the accountable men for terrorism instead.
Okay, wow. It doesn't take a disgusting 30-minute video to explain why, but yeah, revenge is not the answer.